Hi, everyone, and welcome to week four of our clips of the week for 2022. Just a reminder that all clips and rulings have been vetted by Kevin Hatfield, our state rules interpreter. Again, we're not trying to call out any individual official, association, player, or school. We're working towards our goal of one rule, one mechanic, one interpretation. So let's get to this week's clips. The first three clips we're going to look at are regarding penalty enforcement and the importance of making sure that we know what we called and when we called it so that when we're reporting it to the referee, we can get proper penalty enforcement. So on this play, we'll notice here it's 4th and 1 from the A11. And as this play goes on, good job by the crew. We don't have a whistle here. They let the play go out. And we're going to get a block here in the back on the 6. So when we look at this play, we're not going to debate the merits of these calls, whether or not you think this is a block in the back or not. But the wing is going to call this for a block in the back on the 6-yard line. Now they continue to officiate the play nicely, and you'll notice that they're going to throw a flag here for a late hit, unnecessary roughness. So we have a late hit out of bounds. So question becomes, what should the next down and distance be? We have a live ball foul by a member of A and a dead ball foul by the member of B. And the block in the back was at the 6-yard line. So this is the next clip. And we're going to see here that we're basically 4th and 1 from the A11 again. They offset the penalties. However, we have a live ball followed by a dead ball foul. So the live ball foul for the block in the back should have been enforced half the distance from the 6 to the 3-yard line. And then the dead ball, unnecessary roughness, should have been enforced 15 yards from there, resulting in 1st and 10 from the A18 for A. So we want to make sure that we don't offset fouls that shouldn't offset. So maybe this is a topic of conversation for your pregame meetings this week about best ways to report multiple fouls to your referee so we get proper enforcement. So similarly on this play, we have 4th and 3. So again, repeat 4th and 3. We're going in here. It's on the B14. And we're going to see the quarterback go backwards. They're going to scramble, push back. They're tackled. And then we have someone piling on late, and we have a flag by the referee. So it appears that perhaps the forward progress stopped around the 20 or so, and we have a player coming in late, and we're going to have a flag for a late hit, unnecessary roughness by a member of the defense. So what should the next down and distance be? Well, the crew got it right here. So this was a turnover on down, so we have a change of possession, and then they administered the penalty half the distance to the goal, and it's 1st and 10 for A at the 12. So it would be really easy to get caught up in this and say we have a personal foul and we're going to administer it half the distance from the end of the run and let the A team keep the ball. But this crew did an excellent job talking it through, and they enforced this correctly. Now, this is an interesting play. We have 4th and 12 from the K35, and I'll just tell you that we have 3 fouls on this play, all by R. So again, we don't want to debate the merits of any of these calls. I'm just going to tell you what was called. So the first foul here we're going to get is for running into the kicker. So the referee calls running into the kicker, not roughing the kicker. Now, towards the end of this play, we're going to have an illegal block in the back called right around the R32. And then we have a long return, and during the return, right around the 30, we're going to get a call for offensive holding. So now we got 3 fouls on this play, all by R. So we have running into the kicker, we have an illegal block in the back near the end of the kick, and offensive holding. So when we talk about this, then we go to the coach, what's their best option? Is that our job to let them know? No, that's their job, but we want to make sure they're fully aware of all their options. Now, the last foul for offensive holding, they're certainly not going to take because that's near the end of the return, and that's not going to result and the best, most favorable option for them. So if this is running into the kicker, we're going to have 5 yards from the previous spot. They may want to do that. It's 4th and 7. Maybe they'll go for it. It's going to be at the 40-yard line. The coach should at least be given that option. Or they have the block in the back at the 32, which will be enforced 10 yards from there. So we want to let the coach know about all their options so they can make a decision. I can tell you what happened on this play is that the crew enforced the running into the kicker and didn't give him the option for the block in the back. So we want to make sure that we're giving the coaches all options before we march off the penalty. And then this is another look here. And again, not to debate the merits of running or roughing, and perhaps that will be a topic in the future. Just want to show the good job here by the referee. After throwing the flag, it's against a member of R. We're going to get this long return. And it's kind of easy sometimes to give up on this because we know that we're going to have this play come back somewhat. But they do a really excellent job here retreating to the goal line to be able to rule on that potentially. So just really good hustle and good job continuing to officiate the play. Okay, so we're going to show 3 clips regarding wing mechanics. Now, this first one's interesting. It's 4th and 10. It's later in the second half. We got some interesting positioning here by the officials, but this is because this team on offense doesn't use a scrimmage kick formation when punting. The crew had been using a center judge, which they correctly moved over to the umpire position. So we have the referee to the wide side of the field. So it might look a little bit funny, but that's why they're doing that. With that said, we'd like to see the referee back towards the goal line. The ball is being snapped on the 15, so we want to make sure we have coverage for that. Now we have 3 receivers to the offensive right side of the formation. So the far 2 receiver are the back judge's responsibility. The head linesman will have the inside receiver, which leaves the line judge with 1 lone receiver to their side. And we can see here at the snap, this is clearly a pass. The quarterback is back in a passing posture. We have the lineman pass blocking, and we're going to see action here and contact by a member of the defense against this eligible receiver. Now, this is not defensive pass interference. The pass isn't thrown. It's not defensive holding either because we don't have the act of holding. But we can have illegal use of hands or arms on this play because that offensive player is an eligible receiver. And they do not appear to be looking to block. In fact, the quarterback is looking at them and it looks to be their primary receiver. Now, ideally, the wing would not leave the line of scrimmage. We'll give them the benefit of the doubt here because this, again, was 4th down and it appears that the crew was anticipating a punt. But we'll notice that the line judge is looking back at the quarterback and not at the receiver. They have no quarterback responsibility, so their eyes should be downfield. And we're going to miss this foul for illegal contact. And we'll notice the result of the play is going to be a turnover on downs as the runner is tackled short of the line to gain. So 2 more clips showing wings. And with these, it's the importance of knowing that it's your responsibility to punch on passes behind the line of scrimmage. So on this play, we can see here where the line of scrimmage appears to be about the 43. We're going to notice the head linesmen start to flinch and go downfield and they stop, likely just out of habit from old mechanics. But that could mean that you're not in position to rule on the pass being behind or beyond the line of scrimmage. So this does appear pretty close. It's hard with this angle, but it does appear that the pass is caught behind the line of scrimmage. And so in that case, we want a forward punch from the wing that's down at the bottom side here, the line judge. We would like a punch forward because if we don't, the back judge might be picking up the block that's on the 50. We also might have the head linesman who is seeing some ineligibles downfield. So if we don't punch, and our partners might not see that and then think that we have pass interference or ineligibles downfield. So if this was indeed ruled beyond the line of scrimmage, then we should have a foul and we don't. So just remember to punch on any pass that's forward and caught behind the line of scrimmage. You punch forward. And if it was backward, obviously you punch backwards. So again, on a forward pass behind the line of scrimmage, you're going to want to punch forward if it's complete, and if it's not, you want to rule it incomplete. If it's backwards, punch backwards. So let's watch this play. Quarterback appears to be roughly around the 36-yard line. This is clearly a forward pass, yet there's no incomplete signal. And the wing down here, our line judge is going to rule this a fumble and give the ball to the defense. If this was indeed a backwards pass, we should have had a punch backwards, but this is clearly forward and should have resulted in an incomplete pass. And just one final note here, we notice it looks like there's a play card by a member of the offense. Just a reminder that those play cards are need to be worn on the arm. They can't be worn on the belt. This one is just a reminder that if you are utilizing the umpire position, that the referee is solely responsible for an intentional grounding call. We're going to notice the quarterback scramble here. The H does a great job holding the line of scrimmage. The R is maintaining responsibility for the quarterback. Now, this pass obviously didn't cross the line of scrimmage, but our wing did a good job holding that so they could help with that. And we're going to notice the referee coming in and owning that call, and that is their primary responsibility. So good job by the H coming over to help, but this is a pretty easy call. But just a reminder that if you're utilizing the umpire position, the referee is solely responsible for this. Now let's look at a few plays where we want to concentrate on some dead ball or off ball officiating, or maybe not necessarily looking at the ball carrier. So let's watch the action by the defender here, a member of the kicking team that's circled. We'll also note here that we've got a couple coaches that are in the restricted area. But we have a really hard hit, and then we have the player from the kicking team who delivered the hit standing over the opponent and taunting. So we see the wing here with a flag. They're going to have an unnecessary roughness. The umpire is looking at this and has a pretty unobstructed view, and we'd like to see them have a flag here also for that, or this unsportsmanlike. Unfortunately, the unsportsmanlike was not called, but I want to look at this hit again and show you in slow motion. So we have here a flagrant spearing or targeting foul. Per our SRI, this player should have been ejected. This is a very dangerous hit using the crown of the helmet. We have spearing, and this should have resulted in a disqualification of the player. So we should have had a live ball followed by a dead ball. Both of those would have been enforced, and that player would have been disqualified. So let's take a look at some good dead ball or off ball officiating here. We just have a simple out pass here, pretty simple play, but good job by the referee maintaining their eyes in the backfield here. And they're going to have a flag here for this dead ball unnecessary roughness. So good job here by the referee to keep their eyes on that. And then lastly, we just have a kick here. Pretty simple free kick. We're going to have a return up the middle. Runners are the wing's responsibilities, but we're going to get some action here to the left side of the screen. And that's to the referee's right. And we just want to make sure that we're not going past this, that we're keeping players in front of us. We want to accordion, but we want to make sure that we don't get players in front of us. So if we're the referee here, we want to be careful not to run past that action. It's likely the wing could have seen that, the umpire, and we see the back judge coming in. So we'll see this from another angle. And again, just make sure that we don't have our backs to players, because it's at that time that we might miss something. So it does appear that the back judge sees this, perhaps the umpire, maybe the wing, but referee, just make sure that you're also having eyes on that. So that's it for this week's Clips of the Weeks. If you have any questions about the rulings or mechanics that were discussed, please reach out to Kevin Hatfield. If you have a clip you'd like to share, please send the information to pfoavc@gmail.com. Good luck with your games this week.